My story really began when I was about 17 years old, and I grew up in church. I grew up in Roseville. I was from a really great, normal family. A lot of times we don't think that these types of real life things happen to normal girls in good houses with good communities that are going to church, but they do. And by about maybe 15 or 16, I started dating a boy that was a little bit older than me, making some very adult-like decisions. Thought my parents were old, thought the Bible was old. I could kind of do whatever I wanted. And sure enough, I ended up pregnant at 17, the summer before my senior year of high school. It wasn't supposed to happen to a girl like me. I knew I was going to college, and so I was scared, and my dad was mad, and things were chaotic. But I knew at that time that abortion was wrong. We didn't talk about abortion in my house, but I just sensed I could do this. I could have this baby. And so I chose life for my son Eli. And in about a 9-month time frame, I graduated high school early, I delivered Eli, I turned 18, and I started attending school at Sac State. And so things were kind of looking up for someone like me, for a girl that got pregnant as a teenager. But about 6 months later, things kind of took a turn for the worst. And the relationship that I was in all of my teenage years with this one guy, my son's father, became awful. There was a lot of secrets, there was a lot of abuse, there was addiction. And finally I decided that I would leave. I would tell my parents what was going on, be honest, and they extended grace and they loved on me, and I was so thankful to God that I was going to get to move on. And then I found out right at the same time that I was pregnant with another baby. I was a month away from being 19, so here I am 18 years old with an almost 1-year-old child, and knowing that I'm going to be a single mom. My son's father, same man, had left. I was a freshman in college. My dad was going to kick us out. And so right then and there, actually at a grocery store, staring at a positive pregnancy test, I thought, I have to have an abortion. I have to end this before anyone ever finds out. There was so much shame, and I was really being sold, a lie by the ultimate deceiver, which is the enemy. And I thought that this would be a way to hide things, more convenient, a way to get on with my life. And so I chose a medication abortion, which is very, very common. And I walked into my final appointment at a local abortion facility on March 13th of 2013. I'll never ever forget that day. And I was pulled back after a series of appointments, and she's holding the abortion pill in a little Dixie cup. She's telling me really that this is no big deal. This will be very natural. It'll all be over soon. And she said that the first pill that I was to take would end my pregnancy. So it would end the life of the baby. I was 7 weeks pregnant at the time. And so I took it, I swallowed it in front of her, and then she sent me on my way with another medication, and she told me to take it the following day, and she told me that this would just expel the pregnancy. There was no talk of what was really happening to the baby, what my mind or my body or my spirit was going through. All of that was kept very concealed, very hidden. And by the time I got to my car, it was like Satan blew all of the candles out, and he said, gotcha. There you are in your guilt and your grief. And it was dark, and I was alone, and I was in my car, and I just thought, oh my gosh, what did I just do? I just ended the life of my baby. I love the baby I have at home. How could I have done this? I don't even believe in abortion. I believe in Jesus. And so I prayed, and I just said, God, if there's a way out of this, please help me find it. And if not, please help me to forgive myself. Thankfully, I prayed before turning to my phone, but ultimately I did do some searching, and I found a website, and I was connected to a doctor who basically gave me medication to counteract the abortion pill that I took. And I did that for several weeks. And of course, the abortion facility said this would not be successful, that my son would probably die, that my baby would have severe abnormalities. So I was scared. I was just living on prayer and hope and faith in Jesus that he was gonna get me through this. And he did. And my son was born full term on October 20th of 2013, and I named him Zachariah, which means the Lord remembered, because looking back, I can see God in every single part of this story, even at the abortion clinic. And Zachariah is perfectly healthy. He's hilarious. He's super smart and witty, and he will be 6 years old later this year. And I just, in that moment of panic and fear and crisis and where things are foggy, I couldn't see that this life, this ministry, this marriage that I have, these awesome kids were waiting on me to just say yes to God. And so it took a lot for me to say yes, but I'm so glad that I did, because this life is better than I ever could have imagined.